President Trump is in Jerusalem this morning on the second leg of his first foreign trip in office. Right now, he is speaking with the Israeli president in Jerusalem. These are live pictures. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu greeted the president and First Lady Melania Trump after Air Force One landed in Tel Aviv. Before the formal welcoming ceremony, the two leaders joked about it to each other.
They have all this protocol. We never know what
is the protocol? Do you have any idea?
Little presidential protocol jokes there. The president and first lady will visit the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, on the site where Christians believe Jesus was buried. They will also visit the Western Wall, making him the first sitting president to visit Judaism's holiest site.
Mr. Trump said this morning that new opposition to Iran improves the chances of bringing peace to the region.
What's happened with Iran has brought many other parts of the Middle East toward Israel. And you could say that's one of the, if there's a benefit, that would be the benefit, because I've seen such a different feeling toward Israel from countries that, as you know, were not feeling so well about Israel not so long ago.
President Trump spent the weekend in Saudi Arabia. In a speech, the president urged leaders from dozens of Muslim-majority countries to aggressively fight terrorism.
Susan Page is USA Today's Washington bureau chief. Good morning.
Good morning.
So far, how do you assess the president as president versus the president as candidate?
You know, it's interesting. We were looking at this trip thinking maybe it would be a debate between President Obama and President Trump. It's really between President Trump and candidate Trump, because boy, did we see that yesterday in that big speech in Saudi Arabia about Islam. What did he say during the campaign? Islam hates us. He called for a ban on all Muslims. Yesterday, he talked about all faiths working together. This is not a war between religions, a totally different tone.
And it's amazing because the speechwriter was what, Steve Miller? Is that?
Well, I think Steve Miller got some revisions on this one because this reflected also the tone of Rex Tillerson and of General McMaster and others who have come in and tried to adjust. Actually, what Rex Tillerson said this morning on the flight to Tel Aviv was that the president's views on Islam continue to evolve.
Which is remarkable to hear a Secretary of State describe the president's position as evolving.
You know, it's something that might be seen as kind of patronizing, typically in administration, but that is, in fact, what we see happening on this front and on others. He's in Israel now. You know, during the campaign, he promised to move the U.S. embassy to Jerusalem, a big issue in Israel. That has not happened.
Big issue in Arab countries, too.
Yes, exactly. And that's why it hasn't happened yet.
Exactly.
Put in perspective, Susan, on how big this is. You know, there's a popular song, Had a Bad Day. Last week, they had a bad week. Some people even use the word catastrophic. How big is this for President Trump this week?
You know, the first big foreign trip would be big for any president, but this one is especially crucial because he's coming off what I think is the most catastrophic week for a president in memory. You know, it was just a week ago today that we found out that he had talked to the Russian leaders in the Oval Office and revealed intelligence that turns out to be from Israeli intelligence sources. And then we have a series of other things happening, including the disclosure that there's a senior official in the White House that is a person of interest in this investigation of meddling with the Russians. I don't know the answer to that question.
Is there a list of 3 people we might suspect?
Well, there might be, but I don't know enough about that to even say that out loud on your show.
just to speculate out loud. Can I tell you?
Well said, too.
Yeah, very well.
You know what is the other remarkable thing about this trip? No press conferences so far, no tweeting by the president.
And what's most remarkable, the White House sees this as a huge achievement, that this trip has stayed on message because the president has answered questions because he hasn't sent out any of those provocative tweets. Now, here's the question. They've done that for 3 days. Can they do that for 9 days?
Yeah.
Well, the president, it was said, when he realized it was 9 days, tried to shorten it, but his people said, no, you can't do it.
Yeah, and the people around the White House, people in the White House now say the president's been really exhausted.
Let's give him the benefit of all the doubt that he would like us to. I mean, what has he accomplished here, and what may he have accomplished that will perhaps set in motion some kind of grand bargain?
Well, you know, it's possible. This is it's not that like we've had so much great success in reaching a Middle East peace.
Right.
Under one approach. This is a somewhat different approach. The president says this is a moment in time where it might be possible to have a fresh start on an Israeli-Palestinian accord. Of course, we all hope that happens.
Fresh start's a better word than reset, isn't it?
Yeah, reset has a history.
Okay.
Susan Page, always good to have you here. Thank you so much.